Hello, my name is Professor Joyce Harper and I'm Chair of the SLIMS Education Domain. I'm Faculty Graduate Tutor for the Faculty of Population Health Sciences, and I've made this vlog about blended learning. So the overview of what I'm going to talk about is what is e-learning, what is blended learning, a bit about UCL's connected curriculum, the SLIMS e-learning strategy and our Institute's e-learning strategy to give you an example of how that works, and finally 2 examples of how we have applied blended learning in our MSc modules. So traditional teaching has involved the teacher being centre stage with the students listening to the teacher. So I'm sure you're all aware we normally come into a lecture theatre, we give our lecture, we engage with the students and then we leave. So this accommodates for large classes, but it's difficult for students to engage and to stay engaged. So data shows that after about 10 or 15 minutes, most students by this time have started wandering off, they're answering emails, they're on Facebook, they're doing all sorts of other things, but they're not really engaged with the lecturer. So there's a limit to the information that can be taught using this setup, and the students have to work at one pace. We have a changing environment. The students come to us from sixth form and they have been using a number of new methods to have their education. So where the teachers used to be the main provider of education, now the students can access a lot of information online. They can Google it, they can go to Wikipedia, they can find other information from Facebook and other sources. So the students have embraced these new learning styles and we need to do the same at university. The students can now access data anywhere at any time. So what about e-learning? What is online education? So online education is where the students are using this new media to learn the information that they would like to take on board. So they do not need to be in the classroom to receive instruction anymore. They can use a variety of devices to gain information. So the Wikipedia definition of e-learning is the use of electronic media, educational technology and ICT, which can occur inside or outside the classroom. We mustn't forget that e-learning can be done inside the classroom as well. And the great thing is that it can be self-paced or instructor-led. So what is blended learning? Well, blended learning is simply a mix of the two, a mix of traditional face-to-face learning and online education. So the Wikipedia definition of blended learning is students learn in part through online delivery of content and instruction, some element of student control over time, pace, path or place, simultaneous independent and collaborative learning experience, and it improves the student's attitude to learning and increases student satisfaction. So they may want to do this at the university or in their own home. So some examples of blended learning, I'm going to go through these in the next few slides. There's something called lecture flipping. We can record our own videos of laboratory methods or other techniques and things that we use, clinical methods as well. But there's a vast information out there on YouTube. We really must embrace YouTube and the resources there are. One of my philosophies is always not to reinvent the wheel, and there is a lot of information there that we can use. And we don't have to find that information ourselves. We might ask the students to have a look and see which YouTube videos on a particular topic they'd like to view and what they think is good, and then we can moderate it. There's a lot of documentaries out there, both on YouTube and on other forums that we can use to complement our teaching. And the students can do research online. They can do group or individual activities where they find out information online and then bring that back to the classroom. Students can ask questions online. And I'm also going to give you an example of what we do with lessons on note-taking and also information for new students prior to arrival. We use Moodle. I have a Moodle page for student information before they come to UCL, so they can gain this information and look at lectures, etc., before they actually come to UCL. So the flip lecture is very simple. You video your lecture, like I'm videoing a lecture now, and you put it online. It can go on YouTube, and then the students can access this via Moodle. The students watch this at home or in the classroom at their own pace, so if they need to, they can go back and watch the video again. And then in the classroom, when they come back to the classroom with the teacher, they can have a group discussion of what they learned in the video. So you can part flip a lecture, you don't have to flip the whole thing. So I've recently been part flipping just parts of my lectures, the introduction parts that are giving some fundamental or introduction or basic information, and then continuing the lecture after having a discussion about the flip lecture, and then continuing with the more applied lecture in the classroom. Or you can fully flip and record a whole lecture. But normally, most videos on YouTube or lectures recorded, I would say probably about 20 or 30 minutes is long enough, because by then, again, the students would wander off and not really be gaining any attention there. So blended learning saves time. We may have lectures recorded online, but we probably definitely by now have our slides online, so the PowerPoints are online. So because these lectures are online, there's no photocopying of information. I would recommend that people definitely go paperless. And there's wider access of information, so not just the information we give them, but they can easily gather other information. Students have more control over their teaching materials. There's different ways that students learn, and they can do this in their own way. They can do global work, they can do collaborations globally as well. So the teacher can give this basic information to the students, and then they can add on to that by the information they gain online. Students work at their own pace and in their own time, and it helps them be more engaged online. So I'm sure we all have students of different abilities from different backgrounds. They can rewind or skip information, and so they work at the right level for them, which is really, really important. Whereas in a classroom, we have students of a mixed level and we're trying to give the same lecture, and that can obviously lead to problems. It promotes individual approach and group teaching. So students might want to research some information online on their own, or they might want to do it as a group activity, which we really obviously encourage. So it frees some of the teachers' time, because the students can work in small groups and the teacher can work with them in small groups. And working with their peers is really, I think, an essential part of learning at university. It's a great way for them to learn, and it helps leadership and collaboration. Students are more confident to ask questions online. I'm sure we're all aware that many students in the classroom do not want to ask questions because they feel shy or feel that they're asking something stupid. But we have great forums that are possible on Moodle, and we've set up forums for our master's programs and each individual module where students can ask questions online. So students that are shy in the classroom might well be happy to ask something online. Students can collaborate face-to-face online with anyone in the world. I think this is one of the great things about the online community. It opens up a huge amount of material and methods. So this keeps the classroom, all of this information I've just told you, it keeps the classroom now for discussions. The teacher can be involved in higher order thinking skills, bringing the students back to the classroom to discuss what's been learnt online. And I'll give you some examples of how we do that. So it increases the depth of teaching, and the students are now more engaged in the class because they're fully prepared. So if we're trying to do this, where's the resources? And what I hear when I go around talking to people about blended learning is they say, well, we haven't got time to do that. And I think this is really an essential part of teaching, and we're keeping up to date with new technology, and we really need to bring this into the classroom. So some of this video that I've made has been from a great set of videos, which I'll give you the reference at the end, about blended learning by this person here. There's lots of images that can be used on Flickr. I've put in the middle here lynda.com. This is a massive archive of material and videos that may be useful both to you as a teacher. There's some things on social media that I'm going to be viewing very soon, but also to the students. There's some statistic modules and sorts of things that you can point the students to what's relevant to your course, and they can view that in their own time. I've already mentioned YouTube, obviously a vast amount of information. And Box of Broadcast, or BOB, is a system where there's lots of documentaries and other televised information that can be archived and shown to your students. And we mustn't forget about social media. I know lots of people frown about social media and it concerns them, but used in the right way, this is really excellent. And it's a great way to communicate with students and to stimulate their ideas. So Facebook, we use Facebook a lot in our department. We've set up a Facebook alumni page many years ago, and we have a large majority of alumni on there, and we ask them questions and communicate and talk about lots of things. And I've recently set up a global women's network called Global Women Connected, and I put this information, this idea on Facebook, and got some amazing responses from our alumni who have really helped in set this forward. So it's just a great thing and an easy way to communicate with your students. Now, to UCL. Now, Jenny Fung has been working on the connected curriculum, which is a distinctive approach to research-based education and engaging students in research and inquiry at the edge of knowledge. So this is a summary of that. I'm not going to go through that now, but I'm sure you've become aware of this. But here I've shown how e-learning can help the connected curriculum. Students can watch, prepare and discuss an assignment outside the classroom online, and then bring this back into the classroom, so connect with it to discuss with the teacher and the class. And this can work on an individual level or on group tasks, and we can also develop networks through social media. So the SLIM strategy for e-learning, which was written in 2014 to 2016, it says to develop and support a digitally rich teaching and learning environment and to extend and enhance the effectiveness and reputation of the SLIM's teaching and learning community. So in our institute, we've taken this on board and we wrote our e-learning strategy last year. And our aim was that this academic year, all of our MSc modules included some blended learning. And I've heard people say, oh, we're just ticking a box to try and make sure that we do this blended learning. But I'll show you two examples. And really, I think this is an essential adjunct to our teaching. And we've also developed two CPD programs, and these have been recorded and will be offered online. So blended learning across the institutes, the SLIMs, and also the wider UCL. My view is to ensure that we have blended learning in every taught module across UCL as a complement to traditional teaching methods. So just two examples to finish off. We have a basic genetics module, which is the first module our students do, and the first introductory lecture is now flipped because we have students from different backgrounds, and some of them already know this information, but for some of them it's new, so it's ideal to flip this lecture. For the very first lecture, we asked them to take some lecture notes and let us know how that went, and they put them on Moodle and they rate each other's lecture notes. Because one problem is students come into the classroom, they know they're going to get a copy of the slides, and sometimes they don't write anything down. They look back when they're trying to revise and they can't remember what was said. So I think it's really important that they understand about writing lecture notes. They do individual research and moderate tutorial questions. And on one particular topic on linkage, the students prepare work before the lecture, but they also found a YouTube video that they thought was really useful on linkage. And I just wanted to reinforce that this sometimes doesn't mean extra work for the teacher. You can ask the students to go and have a look on YouTube, or go and look on lynda.com or Bob, and find resources that they think will be useful. And students really enjoy doing this and being involved. There's an excellent video on next generation sequencing on YouTube, and the exam is online and they do exam practice online. And the second example I'd like to give is the gametogenesis pre-implantation development and IVF module. Again, I flipped an anatomy lecture, which was a very basic lecture. Again, some of the students already knew this. They did an investigation of the media where they look at something that's been reported in the media about a scientific paper, and they do this as a group activity where they go and research this information online, and they give a presentation, and then we have an excellent discussion back in the classroom. We've recorded a number of lab techniques, but we've also used the existing YouTube videos for some. There's a number of documentaries that can be used, that we use for this module, and they do two essays that are both online researched. They do one on infertility treatment in a country of their choice. So this isn't information they'll get from a journal. They'll get this information by researching online fertility treatment in that country. And then they bring that back to the class and we discuss the global fertility treatment that's being offered. And essay 2 is on any IVF related topic, and again we discuss that in the class. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. These are my contacts. You can see I'm quite social media savvy, but I'm still learning. And I really hope that you don't get put off by this. It doesn't need to be a lot of extra work. It really is fun, and it really helps the students engaged, and it really is the future. This is how we're going to be helping us deliver education worldwide, and we should really embrace that at UCL. Thank you very much.